Alrighty there guys, and we're moving on to part 3 of our Sonic 06 playthrough in Shadow Story. Or Let's Play, whatever I decide to call it. Whatever. But anyway, we've just finished up in Kingdom Valley. Thank fuck for that, because that stage is boring. But anyway, we're now at the rendezvous point, and here's where things start to get a little bit interesting, plot-wise.
The former king of Soliana used to
Yawned already. It's because of Kingdom Valley.
and no one's lived there since.
I swear it's gotta be because of Kingdom Valley being so boring.
Which caused the accident. I think the name of the plan was
I know some people again will probably say, why are you playing this game if you hate it so much? Why don't you play something decent? Well, I said to myself I was going to play through this game and give commentary on it. And that's what I'm going to do. Funny how the graphics was kind of so fucked up on Rouge's ear just a second ago. I don't know if anybody else noticed it. But anyway, the story kind of starts getting quite interesting around here. What the fuck kind of voice acting is that? Ah! 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 That doesn't sound like someone getting hit, Rouge. I'm sorry, but the voice acting in this game really isn't all that great. Well, I'm going to try not to be too bitchy and just try and make the best of it. Anyway, this is where things start getting really interesting, as I said before. We are now introduced to one of the other new characters that Sonic 06 introduced. Not one of my favourite characters, but, you know, some people really like this character. And I suppose I can see why. He's a badass. He's cool. Even if he is a Shadow look-alike. I mean, literally, he's a Shadow recolour at the moment. However, the story does a decent enough job of explaining why he's a Shadow recolour here. In actuality, he's not much of a Shadow recolour. He just is a Shadow recolour because of copying Shadow or something like that. But Mephiles is quite a dark character. And, you know, I can see why some people like him. He's not one of my favourites, though. But damn, the music's creepy.
I owe much to you, Shadow. Oh, yes.
And needless to say, Mephiles may look like a Shadow recolour at the minute, but his design does get tweaked a little bit later on. He does change his look a little bit. And what the fuck is happening here? Wow. Our good friends have been sent to the future. Conveniently, they happen to arrive at Crisis City.
what is this place?
It seems we've been teleported to another location.
And as we all know from Sonic's story, Sonic and his friends have already visited, well, they have visited Crisis City in their story.
Who is he?
And if we remember what happened in Sonic's story as well, we know that Shadow is going to meet up with them very soon. after this cutscene.
I'm in. I've pinpointed our location.
In Sonic's story, we always knew Crisis City was in the future, but we never particularly knew how far along in the future. We knew it was a fair way in the future, but not an exact number.
But how can that be?
But here we learn it's about 200 years in the future or something like that.
Where we are? It appears we've gone through time, doesn't it?
Yes, approximately.
There we are, 200 years.
Maybe more, depending on when this database was last updated.
But anyway, like I say, if you remember Sonic's story, we know that these guys are going to meet up with Sonic and the gang pretty soon. It is entirely possible the reason Sonic and the gang happened to come to this particular time could have been because Mephiles had already opened up a kind of time warp and sent Shadow and Rouge there. It's possible. I don't know what sense that makes, but it's possible. Cutscene we've already seen before.
Boy, do I feel dizzy. Where are we?
Oh, look who's here. I didn't expect to see you guys.
Rouge! Shadow!
Hi.
You just gotta love how Shadow's not even looking at them. I am sorry about the enormous amount of cutscenes. But rest assured, we will be tackling Crisis City in this part, so there will be a level in this part. It's not just all cutscenes.
Future?
It's just taking a very long time to get through the cutscenes.
Eggman's machine can control time.
Eggman's got some nerve dropping us here.
Now, how can we get back to our own time?
You need a space-time rift, but this requires a lot of energy.
Now, here's something that I haven't questioned in Sonic's story, that I probably should have questioned.
Chaos control will...
Chaos Control in this game enables Sonic and Shadow and Silver to travel through time. If they were able to travel through time using Chaos Control, why didn't Shadow go back in time to the Space Colony Ark and change the events of what happened there? Why didn't he rescue Maria? I understand he's put his past behind him, as he claims to have done in Shadow the Hedgehog. But you can't tell me that there was not that little possibility in the back of his mind, just thinking about it. You know, I'm glad the events of this game were erased at the end. Spoiler. I'm glad that none of this actually happened in the end, because it's all such bullshit. But anyway, we're repeating some sections again that Sonic has already done for Crisis City. Shadow does have a sort of semi-original segment at the end, but for the most part he's going through the exact same segments as Sonic did before. Thank you for making me replay the segments again. Thank you for not giving Shadow any original segments. The reason I say that is just, need I point you to the direction of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2? Yes, some segments in Sonic Adventure were rehashed, but it was, at the same time, it was fresh, because it's differing gameplay, and often a lot of characters had different routes they could go. Sonic Adventure 2, well, each and every stage was unique. Shadow the Hedgehog never went through City Escape. Eggman certainly never went through, well, it wasn't Iron Gate, it was the other one, Prison Island stage. He never went through Mission Street. And this is a 360 game. I do not see how they could not have given Shadow some different stage design instead of just copy and pasting Sonic's design. Stage design. You know. Sorry, slipping up over the words again. This is going to be a boring part. At least until the last bit when things start changing up a little bit and we get to see Shadow in a completely different section of Crisis City. Shadow has 4 sections of Crisis City, just like Sonic does. But obviously, if we remember from Sonic's story, the 4th part of Sonic's stage, Crisis City, you know, the 4th section of Crisis City for Sonic was a Mach Speed section. Shadow doesn't do Mach Speed sections, thank God. So he's got a completely different section to what Sonic has. But when we get to Silver Story, you may recognise some of it. It's just all bloody rehashed and they never fucking bothered to come up with original... Sorry. Where was I? They never bothered to come up with any original sort of design, you know, for the stages for each individual character. It would have been nice. As it is, this is really, really boring to watch. Because I've commentated over all this before. It may have been a while ago, but it was still commentated on before. And I know I'm a whiny bitch. Deal with it. I love how the camera completely goes back on itself on that little bit. One thing I never pointed out with Sonic's section is on this slight bit here, it's really noticeable. If Sonic's travelling too fast, which is unusual because Sonic doesn't really travel fast in this game at all, his turning becomes extremely sensitive. And I think it's kind of like the same thing with Shadow. Only because Shadow moves a little bit slower, I noticed it significantly less than what I did with Sonic. But yeah. I'm completely at a loss of what to say. I know that these lava enemies have ridiculous names according to the strategy guide I own of Sonic 06. I mentioned that in the Sonic story for Sonic 06. But I can't find the strategy guide at the minute. I'll see if I can find it for Silver's playthrough, but I can't be fucked at the moment. And if you think this is boring, wait until we would get to Flame Core. Flame Core is the exact same fucking stage as Sonic's. There's pretty much no difference. I mean, I'm not lying. It's almost completely identical. Right down to having Rouge light up those 5 little orb things instead of Knuckles doing it. Oh. At least that's section 2 over and done with. Section 3 is slightly different from Sonic's, but only slightly. See, Sonic had a platform over all the floating debris in his 3rd section. Here, Shadow gets a glider. He can just glide through it all and shoot stuff down. So it's significantly easier. But it's 200 years in the future. Why is there a fully functional glider hanging around? And why is it I can fly it into so many fucking things without its wings being ripped off? How the fuck do they expect me to get through this little gap here without taking a hit? I'm such a whiny bitch. But yeah, this section's significantly easier. You just glide through everything. Doesn't matter how much damage you take. You know, try not to take too much damage, but don't worry about avoiding it completely, because I highly doubt you'll be able to do that. That section is ridiculously short, but now we're actually heading on to an original section of Crisis City. Well, semi-original. I think Silver shares some of the characteristics with this section. Okay, I'm probably wording things completely wrong there, but I do not care. People should probably know what I mean by that. But yeah, completely somewhat original section. Original in that Sonic never travelled through it in any case. But it's still boring. You may have noticed that there was a tornado there. It's not the same tornado that started throwing cars at Sonic, was it? Yeah. There really is not much going on here. I really don't know what to say. There just isn't much to commentate on. This is just so boring. Oh, it's so boring, I'm yawning. You don't actually need the buggy here. But like I said with the glider, this is 200 years in the future. Why is there a fully functional buggy 200 years in the future that hasn't even got a scratch on it when all the fucking buildings are destroyed? It does not make sense to me. But considering that I've got nothing else to talk about, I suppose I'd better mention the multiplayer game somewhere. There is actually multiplayer in this game. I've never actually played it, so it's not something I plan to do. But there are basically two different modes. There's a tag mode where you have to work together to collect Chaos Emeralds, and there's a battle mode where you have to beat the opponent to the goal ring. From what I'm aware, none of them are particularly fun to play, but I have never played them. I could be completely wrong about that. But I really highly doubt that I am wrong about it, because this game just isn't fun to play in single player. So why would it be any more fun in multiplayer? Especially if it's just as glitchy and crappy as it is here. Shadow, you're a mad hedgehog. Grinding so close to a tornado throwing... car throwing tornado. It's annoying because these sections look so cool, but when you actually play them you realise that they're the furthest thing from cool imaginable. Rest assured, if I ever do another commentary after this, I'll pick a game that's actually decent. And there's another armed buggy that's been unharmed by a city left in ruins. There's, you know, buildings completely destroyed, but there's two armed buggies and a glider completely unharmed. And as I say, you will recognise these segments when we play as Silver. Oh, do I have to do Silver's story? Well, no I don't, but I don't have to do anything if I don't want to, but I said I would finish this, so I'm going to finish it. I'm going to try not to fall asleep in the process. It's honestly harder to watch this game than what it is to commentate over it. But anyway, that's part 3. Thank fuck for that. Oh god, I don't want to do part 4. Flamecore's going to be so boring. See you in the next part.